My mother called the day after graduation. "We need to talk about your living situation," she said coldly. "What do you mean?" "I'm moving home for a few months to job hunt." "That won't work. Your father and I have decided you need to be independent now. You're an adult." My father got on the phone. "Pack your things. You have 2 weeks." They didn't just cut me off, they erased me completely. My name is Zoe. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated college. I worked through school. I have student loans. I come from an upper middle class family, the kind that looks perfect from the outside. My father's a corporate executive. My mother chairs the local foundation. We're the family people talk about at dinner parties. I was the perfect daughter. Good grades. No scandal. I made them look good. But behind closed doors, my parents were emotionally distant. Their love came with conditions. I had to achieve. I had to perform. I had to make them proud. My younger sibling is 19 and still in college. My parents are still funding their education completely. No loans, no part-time jobs, just full financial support. But me? The day after I walked across the stage, everything changed. I wasn't ungrateful or rebellious. I was the one who always played by the rules. I did everything right. And the moment I stopped being useful, the moment I graduated and didn't need their money anymore, they decided I was disposable. They told extended family, Zoe wanted to be independent. We're respecting that. Translation: Zoe abandoned us. Subscribe if your parents ever made you disappear after you stopped being useful to them, because what happened next showed me who they really were. The graduation ceremony was beautiful. My parents were there. They took photos. We went to dinner at an upscale restaurant. My mother cried. Happy tears, I thought. My father hugged me. It felt like celebration. That night, I went to bed thinking about my future. I had job interviews lined up for August. I'd planned to move home for the summer, just a few months while I job hunted and saved money. It made sense. It was practical. My parents had agreed to this, or at least, they hadn't said no. The next day, my mother called. "We need to talk about your future living situation." I was confused. "What do you mean?" "I'm moving home for a few months while I job hunt. We talked about this." "That won't work. Your father and I have decided you need to be independent now. You're an adult." My stomach dropped. "I just need a few months. I have interviews lined up, but nothing starts until August." My father got on the phone, and his voice was hard. "You're 22. Time to grow up. Pack your things. You have 2 weeks. 2 weeks? That's not enough time to find an apartment? Can I stay through the summer?" My mother came back on. "Absolutely not. We've already planned our renovation. Your room is going to be a yoga studio." A yoga studio. My room, the room I'd slept in my entire life, was going to become a yoga studio. What about my stuff? My books? Everything I own? "You'll have to rent a storage unit. That's your responsibility now." My younger sibling got to stay home, got to keep their room, got to keep being supported. My father made it explicit. "Your brother is still studying. You're done. You're on your own." I tried to reason with them. I explained my job search timeline. They wouldn't listen. "We've given you everything," my mother said. "College, opportunities, support. You're ungrateful." But they hadn't given me emotional support. They'd given me the bare minimum and called it love. "This is character building," my father said. "You'll thank us someday." I had 1 week to find an apartment in an expensive market. I didn't have a job. I didn't have much money. I ended up in a studio apartment that took 60% of my part-time job income. My parents never checked in, never asked how I was managing. They just disappeared. I tried reaching out to them several times. Calls went to voicemail. Texts took days to answer. When my mother finally responded to one message, she wrote, "We're very busy. Let's catch up later." Later never came. My younger sibling mentioned a family dinner in the group chat. Everyone was invited except me. I texted asking if I should bring something. My parents responded, "This is a family dinner for those still in school. You're independent now." Translation: You don't belong here anymore. I saw photos on my mother's Instagram. A beautiful family moment. Comments from extended family. Such a beautiful family photo. My parents were presenting a family of 3 to the world. I'd been written out of the narrative. Extended family members who used to text me stopped reaching out. I realized my parents had told them, Zoe wanted independence. We're giving her space. But the tone implied, Zoe abandoned us. 6 months after moving out, my car broke down. I couldn't afford the repairs on my part-time job salary. I reached out to my parents. I know you don't want to help, but I'm in a jam. Could you loan me $2K for car repairs? I can pay you back. My father responded immediately, that's not our responsibility. You chose independence. I didn't choose this. You forced me out with 2 weeks' notice. My mother added, we're not discussing this. Figure it out yourself. I couldn't figure it out. I was one car repair away from losing my job and losing everything. A family friend, my godmother, somehow found out. She helped me quietly, but then I learned my parents had told her, we're not enabling Zoe. She needs to learn consequences, making it sound like I'd done something wrong, like I was being punished. My only crime was finishing college, 3 months into my first job, a marketing position I fought hard to get. I told my parents, I got a job. I start next month. My mother responded with one word, good. No congratulations, no pride, no acknowledgement of my effort. My brother got a B+ on an exam and my mother posted about it on social media. My job, never mentioned. My parents attended a community event where my new company was sponsoring something. A family friend congratulated them on their daughter's new position. My father responded, that's nice. Our daughter, the one still in school, just made Dean's List, completely redirecting, like I didn't exist. I found out about this through the grapevine. The sting was sharp. My parents had decided I no longer existed in their public narrative. What they didn't know was that I'd been documenting everything: text messages, screenshots of Instagram posts, emails showing their refusal to help. I'd kept a timeline: graduation day, celebration, today, after, rejection. But more importantly, I'd been excelling professionally. 6 months into my first job, I got promoted. 3 months later, another promotion. My company valued my work ethic, my resilience, my ability to problem solve under pressure. I was building a career, one my parents knew nothing about. I'd also started therapy, processing the abandonment, understanding it wasn't about me. My therapist told me, your parents' behavior reveals their character, not your worth. I'd been rebuilding my self-esteem from the ground up. I also knew about my parents' annual reunion, an exclusive event where they showed off their family, where they presented themselves as perfect. I knew they'd be there. I knew they'd be presenting as the perfect family, and I knew I could show up and disrupt that narrative, but not out of bitterness, out of truth. My godmother, the one who'd actually cared about me, got me an invitation. She told me, you have every right to be there. Your family is still your family. I accepted. I'd been preparing mentally for this confrontation. I bought a new dress, did my hair, looked polished and successful. I was going to show my parents who I'd become without them. The reunion was at an upscale country club. I arrived early with my godmother. I looked confident. I looked put together. I looked successful. My parents arrived later. They didn't notice me at first. They were greeting extended family, showing off my younger sibling, working the room. Then my aunt saw me. Zoe, we haven't seen you in ages. My parents froze. My mother's face went pale. My father's jaw clenched. They came over reluctantly. What are you doing here? My father asked. I was invited. By my godmother. I thought it was time to reconnect with family. My mother tried to steer the conversation away. Let's not make a scene. I'm not making a scene. I'm just being here. Extended family members started asking me questions. An aunt asked how my job was going. Actually, I just got promoted to senior associate. It's been an incredible 6 months. My father tried to redirect. That's nice. Your brother just got... My grandmother interrupted him. Let Zoe finish. Tell us about the promotion. I explained my role, my accomplishments, my growth. I did it confidently and humbly. Relatives were impressed. They asked follow-up questions. My parents became increasingly uncomfortable. My godmother stood beside me, validated everything I said. After the event wound down, my parents cornered me outside. That was inappropriate, my father said, his voice angry. Coming here like that. I was invited. By my godmother. She's family too. You embarrassed us. Your brother was the focus tonight. I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. I was just being present. My father. After everything we've done for you, you kicked me out with 2 weeks' notice. You didn't check on me. You told everyone I abandoned you when actually, you abandoned me. My mother. That's not fair. We gave you independence. You forced independence on me without any safety net. There's a difference. You could have been supportive. Instead, you rewrote the story to make yourselves look good. We don't have to listen to this, my father said. You're right, you don't. But I'm not going to accept your version of events anymore. I'm not going to feel guilty for surviving what you did to me. My mother tried a different approach. We were wrong. We're sorry. But I could see it was performative. It was only happening because I showed up. I appreciate that, but I've already done the work of healing without you. I don't need your apology to move forward. I just needed you to know that I survived. I walked away. I didn't wait for their response. After I left them, I went back to the reunion. My godmother was there. Several aunts and cousins were there. My godmother hugged me. I'm so proud of you. An aunt told me, I had no idea what happened. Your parents told us you wanted independence, but now I understand it was different. A cousin said, that takes courage, showing up here, claiming your space. I realized the truth was spreading. Extended family was recontextualizing what they'd been told. My parents' narrative was collapsing under the weight of the truth. My presence, confident, successful, whole, contradicted everything they'd said. I wasn't there as a victim. I was there as a survivor. That distinction mattered. Days after the reunion, extended family members reached out. They were apologizing for believing the initial narrative. They were expressing pride in my accomplishment. They were asking to stay in touch. My relationship with extended family deepened. It became genuine and supportive. My parents eventually tried to reach out. They wanted to reconcile, but I realized I didn't need their reconciliation to be okay. I set boundaries. I'm glad to see you at family events, but I'm not going to pretend this didn't happen. My younger sibling reached out privately. I didn't know what really happened. I'm sorry. We began a genuine relationship, separate from our parents. I continued my career, continued therapy, continued building my independent life. 6 months later, I got promoted again. I was thriving. I didn't need my parents' approval anymore. I had my own. I finally understood. My parents' abandonment wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of their character, and I got to be the one who chose differently. If your parents made you disappear after you stopped being useful to them, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. When did you realize you had to save yourself? Did you ever confront them? Or are you still deciding whether you want to? This community understands what it means to be abandoned by the people who were supposed to protect you. Subscribe for more stories of people who reclaimed their narratives. Your story matters. Your voice deserves to be heard.